Okay, what's been happening, Al? What's happened now?
Okay, so the lid's on.
Yeah, and the basil's,
the basil's in.
that we got from the garden.
Ci dobbiamo scendere il fuoco.
Leave it on the fire.
We have to, yeah, it's going to be on the, but you've got to reduce the gas, the heat. So this has gone down to, Mum, it's gone down
No, non ancora.
Yeah. So it's bubbling.
Simmer.
Now, it's probably been bubbling like this for what, 20 minutes at least? So from the time we started, this process has taken a good half an hour.
Yeah.
Now, why? Obviously, we've been going slowly and cleaning
Sai
and
quando
stuff.
dice a Luisa che deve contare di quando tu ci basso gasso?
Yeah.
Because questa carne è dura.
Yes.
Yeah.
E piano piano io per un'ora e più non la scopro più.
Yes. Okay.
Can you translate?
So I will say, so what's happened is, so I was about to say, it's taken a good half an hour to get that process done because obviously with talking, she's gone a bit slowly, she's cleaned the meat, but it still takes a roughly good 20 minutes to brown your meat. So it's come to the boil, the sauce is in it. Now you only count, you only start counting the time from the time you've lowered the heat. Because again, this is gravy beef. It's a tough part of the meat. Again, the cheaper cut. So now for about an hour minimum to about an hour 15, we leave the lid on, let it simmer, and we don't lift the lid because every time you lift the lid, you know, the heat escapes.
Yes.
Lo puoi scoprire, non è che non si può scoprire, però se non lo scopre è meglio perché allunga la cottura.
Yeah, because every time you lift the lid, the heat escapes, it cools down those few degrees. Tu cosa fai? Non lo buttare quello.
E allora prende qualche cosa perché se io devo tirare fuori della soppa.
Questo
Guarda che io non l'ho fatto.
Vabbè, fai quello che tu vuoi fare.
No, io non l'ho fatto, è lui
Che cade, that's all right. Ma basta che non lo butti. We're just discussing the basil. So that basil is the Vietnamese basil. We make it with red cabbage. Emily makes it actually. Another time we can talk about sort of vegan options, like non-meat dairy ones. We'll come up with some, but that's a different story. We'll look at that later. So yes, so every time you lift a lid, you've got to remember that you're reducing the heat, and it's got to go back to that heat. It just takes a bit longer to cook. Now, what I just wanted to show you is another time. These are what we call zipoli.
Oh.
They're a Calabrian thing. They're made with potato and flour, and then they're deep fried, right? Now, because they're, again, a little bit of work, and they're fried, so you don't want to be eating this regularly, we make this either at Easter or at Christmas. So we all love them. My mum makes them.
Si possono fare sempre all'Australia.
Yeah. My mum said, of course, it's not
ma la tradizione è quella, ragione, you're right.
No, I was saying from a health point of view, you don't want to be eating fried food every week, right? Because these are fried. But traditionally, they're made in, they're everyone's favourites. Like when Mum makes these, how many kilos of potato do you make, Mum?
3 kilo patate, I did.
Yes.
And 2 kilo and a half of flour,
Yes. So she needs that. She cooks them, she
we'll
peels
have to
them.
do a session making them.
They're hard work because it's just laborious. It's labour intensive. You've got to knead that together. Then you have to roll them out. Then you make this shape, and then you drop them into the oil.
In Italia stavano gli uomini.
Yeah, the men would do this in Italy.
Because non avevamo gas, c'era a padella che camminava legna.
Because they used to do it on a wood fire, so the men would put the fire.
So they're not sweet.
You can make a sweet version.
Yeah.
The Sicilians make a sweet version.
Yeah.
So you can turn this into a sweet, and you can drizzle it with honey. You can put sultanas in them.
Yeah.
You can do them a different shape, more like a donut.
Yeah.
But these ones here, Mum, salt, flour,
Yeah.
and potato.
Yeah.
Lou.
A little bit of salt.
Give me some. Let me try some.
Dan ci
So-
ci-
Careful.
Because
with your-
it's like,
with your
what time
legs.
is it? We're starving. It's lunchtime.
Oh, it's too big for me.
No, have it all.
Oh,
So,
oh,
they're a savoury.
oh. It's a bit actually like the spanakopita. It's a savoury.
Yeah. So,
Oh. Has your mum got a fryer to do this?
just in a fry pan. Just put it takes a lot of oil.
Yeah.
Again, the oil's important. You can't just
Yeah.
use that synthesized oil. You need the extra virgin olive oil. It gives it its flavour. It's very simple.
Oh.
3 ingredients.
Amazing.
4 plus the oil. Potato, again, cucina povera.
Yeah.
And you can make these, and if you make them in a different shape, you can dust them with icing sugar.
Yeah.
My auntie sometimes makes them. She makes them in like a ball and she puts sultana in them, but we love the savoury.
Oh, I love it.
So it's sort of similar to the ingredients that you have in gnocchi, but gnocchi you have less flour. You want them more obviously fluffy. So yeah, you roll these out, you make the shape, you drop them in the oil, and then you pull them out.
Amazing.
So this is nice if you're just, you know. We normally have can you believe, we normally have this after our meal
You're joking.
as a snack.
Italiani mangiamo troppo.
I know.
Troppo.
So we would have our starter, you know, whether it's antipasto, then we have our pasta, then we have the meat, the salad,
Insalata non può mancare.
always a salad, and then then we might, you know, we have fruit. Then we might be a little bit peckish after that, about half an hour later. It doesn't matter
O caffè.
how full you
Coffee,
are.
cake.
No matter how stuffed you are from food, when these come out, everyone has them. And you've got to have them warm.
Yeah, I know. I liked it. How it was warm.
Yeah, we got to have them warm. So my mum, they're better, of course, when they're just smoked because they're fluffier.
Yeah, love.
Obviously, the oil gets absorbed, and when you let them cool, it changes
Delicious.
the consistency a bit. But then my mum freezes them.
Unbelievable. What's happening now, Nonna?
Taglio per semolo.
So she's just washed the parsley. Can you see? I'll just get this out of the way. So this, I just wanted to show you, this is the pork mince. As you can see, it's quite light in colour. So I'm going to put that in there, that's half a kilo. Posso mettere lì?
Sì.
And this is the
Another half a kilo beef.
chuck steak, another 500 grams, half a kilo. So in there, there's a kilo, and you're going to mix it all together. So she's washed the parsley. So there's one whole bunch of parsley in a kilo, and a clove of garlic. Okay, va bene?
E questo viene piano piano.
Yeah, so we're just going to prepare the ingredients. In there, you'll need parsley, garlic, Parmesan cheese, breadcrumbs, your meat, your pork and your beef, an egg, salt, pepper, and nutmeg. Okay. So meatballs are really quick and easy to do. And once you make them, you can actually freeze them. You've got to freeze them individually, and then once they're frozen, you pop them into the bag.
We're talking big meatballs or little
Well,
baby
we
ones?
make them that size,
Delicious.
like maybe a 50-cent piece size.
Yeah.
If you want to make like a big meat, you know, a bigger one, then that's a polpotone.
See, see.
So we typically don't make them big, but I suppose if you wanted to, you know, do something different, it looks different. We like to put them in little meatballs in a separate plate. So what we do, so we always cook our meatballs in a separate sauce, not the sauce that we make for the spaghetti.
Say that one more time.
So we cook our meatballs in a separate sauce not the one that we use for spaghetti. So for example, if it's a Sunday lunch and we've made the ragu sauce,
Yes.
that's the ragu sauce. And in a different pot, we would, there's two ways you can do it. You will just make your plain tomato sauce, okay?
O può prendere un poco lei.
You can just make your plain tomato sauce, and then when it comes to the boil, you add your meatballs. Everything's always got to come to the boil because you have to seal your meat, okay? Now, and then you cook your meatballs. And then we serve the meatballs and that sauce in a bowl. We don't pour that sauce over our pasta.
So that's what I thought, that ragu would go on the meatball.
No.
Wow.
So when we've cooked the pasta, the ragu sauce, because it's a different flavour altogether. In a meatball sauce, and some people will use the meatball sauce, le polpette, il sugo delle polpette, on the pasta. But it's a different sauce because it's a sauce that's now had cheese seeped into it, the flavour of the parsley, the breadcrumb. The consistency is very different and you'll see the colour's different too.
Non è per quell'altro, solo perché ti fa un sugo un po' ulati.
Yeah, it becomes...
Solo per quello, ma se no...
The flavour's amazing.
Sì.
Yeah, the flavour's different, but your sauce is different. So you can use it, and a lot of people do.
Yeah, I did not know it was a separate thing.
But we prefer that's just how we eat it. We prefer the meatballs on the side. So we will have that meat sauce, and we'll have our spaghetti, and then we'll just add some meatballs to our plate.
Wow.
Or we might have the meatballs for second with a salad.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But if you wanted to add, some people just add the meatballs and the meatball sauce to the pasta, and that's fine too. But you're just going to get, that's a different type of flavour sauce.
Interesting.
So that's how my mum does it, and that's sort of what we're used to.
Yeah.
Now, as you can see, her parsley cutting skills are very professional, aren't they?
Very serious.
Tu ci puoi dire a Luisa che io ho messo tutto questo prezzemolo, ma se la carne era più poco, io ne mettevo più poco.
So because we're using a kilo of meat, we've used a bunch of parsley.
No, no bunch, look.
Oh, half a bunch.
Half a bunch. Pero,
and the stalks were used because a lot of people...
I noticed the stalks.
So you cut the bottoms off of the stalks that are a little bit not as nice. And the stalks and the leaves.
Everything.
Yeah, because sometimes you watch like some of the chefs, they pick the leaves and chop that. But the stalks is actually where you've got the intensity of the flavour. Like if you chew that, parsley's really good for freshening your breath too. So if you chew like the stalks, that's where like all the juices are.
Amazing.
You can just feel it when you squish it.
Però a non ci dice che questi giovani, i giovani, no, se io non avevo più poco di sto prezzemolo, non è che i porpetti non venivano buoni.
So she's saying if you don't have like a big bunch at home or you don't have that much, it doesn't matter. Use whatever you've got because you're still going to have flavour.
But never dry parsley leaves?
No, we never use dry parsley leaves ever. Like never. I don't even think I've seen them in my life. We never use dry parsley or dry basil leaves. What is that? What is that? Does it have any flavour? We don't know. However,
yes, continue.
It does.
That's a lot of. That looks like a lot of parsley to me.
It does. Like if you, I guess
That's
if you're
a lot.
using the dried stuff, it's still going to give you the colour, but it doesn't
not
give you
the
the flavour.
flavour.
Fresh is best, always. So there's got to be some wog up the road whose parsley's hanging off the fence. Or just go and ask them.
No, or grow on your balcony. I grow basil on my balcony, you know.
Basil's really easy to grow. It's prolific.
In Italy, in Calabria, prima che veniva... mica un tuo barcone.
Yeah, there was no shops. No.
In the barcone, the pot, the next door. Carmela, you got a little...
And that's how
Eh,
it should be.
all right, no poco. That's all right, no poco. Ma se dovevi ciò era pure buono. Ma se andate bene è uguale.
Yeah, so whatever you've got. If you've got a little bit, you don't have a lot.
That's right.
Yeah,
A me mi piace taglio tutte cose a mano.
yeah.
Qui mano.
She likes to cut all her bits and pieces. So she's doing them, slicing them. You don't go all the way to the end. When you see the chefs do it on TV, they'll put it down, they'll slice it finely, but not the end, and then you cut it the crossways. And that's how you get like a very finely cut. Now notice that in the sugo we use the squished piece, because that way we take it out.
Oh,
Some
really?
people chop it up and they don't mind it in the
Yeah, I
sauce.
love it.
Sì, uno spiccio d'aglio.
Yeah, bring it closer.
Bring it closer, Mum.
Show me.
Show, flick it like you
Non
just
ci
did.
vuole un po' di pazienza.
Yeah, you've got to
però.
be patient. You got to be
Yeah.
patient.
Sì.
Wow.
I do this.
Amazing.
Mo faccio questo.
Beautiful.
Mi vanno
Beautiful.
pigliano tutte queste cose che
All the
immagino.
gadgets.
Forget it. The
But we do love our
gadgets.
gadgets, don't we, Mum?
E a me mi piace, tante cose porto che mi piacciono.
Yeah, we
Non
just
che-
you,
non
we
che-
like, yeah. You like the gadgets. You like the look of them, the thought of them. Anyway, Mum, can you get back where you were so we can see you a bit better?
That's better.
So it's got to be pretty finely chopped.
Yes. That
Because
is...
no one wants to eat a big piece of garlic in their polpette.
Oh, I love a big piece of garlic.
Do you?
Well, a chi non gli piace,
I spit it out.
a
Sorry.
chi non gli piace, cresce.
Yeah,
Schiaccia.
if you don't like the pieces, you can just crush it or
Tutto.
mince it.
Eh?
Because when it's minced, that's the other thing. Do people use like the minced garlic from the fridge?
I would have once. If I had no garlic and I had that in the
Yeah, yeah.
fridge, I would have used that.
Wait,
Now-
what we got? No,
That's right,
It's
that's
the
right.
sign.
Thank you, Nonna.
However, it's always good to have, a garlic clove. Not the clove. What's it called? The whole thing. The garlic head.
Yeah.
It's always good to have it in the pantry. You never, is this right, Mum? You never put garlic in the fridge
No, I know that actually.
because it loses its flavour.
It's like tomatoes.
Archibald.
Tomatoes in the fridge.
No. I tell all the
I
time.
agree with your
No.
mum. They lose the flavour in the fridge.
Yeah.
My mum taught me that.
And she was right.
She was right.
Yeah, so we don't put our tomatoes in the fridge either. Look, and I think sometimes we like these beautiful stylised homes where there's no clutter.
That's a good point.
And you've got your beautiful bowl with
That's right.
your lemons, but where are you going to put your tomatoes? Don't put them in the
Look
fridge.
at them
Where-
here, beautiful
Yeah,
tomatoes here.
that's right. You've got the Melonzani. So it's a different
Yes.
Elena,
picture that we
Awesome.
have. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
pepper or salt?
Pepper.
pepper.
Just a good lashing of it.
Mo, io ci metto questo pepe.
That's a lot of
Se ci metto poco, non si vera, se ci metto assai, sai.
It's not a lot.
We
It's a
no,
lot.
non morimo.
Yeah, so she said it's up to you. You can put as much or as little as you want. It's not going to make a big deal.
No.
It just changes up the flavour a bit. But there is a kilo of meat, so.
Now,
That's a lot of meatballs.
Well, not really.
Really?
Well, if you've got 6 people over and people
I don't, this is what I can't
we
work
have
out.
8
you should
meatballs
see
each.
when they are together.
We fight over the
They eat
meatballs.
everything, even the
They're all
table.
skinny. They're all. How
really.
does this happen? They're all narrow and slim. All that lovely melanzana.
Yeah, the melons. She actually wanted to make stuffed melanzani
I
because
love- we'll do that another day.
when you make the stuffed melanzani, you actually use a similar
oh, well, we'll
filling.
do that another time.
But the trick with the melanzani is that
I
you have
love
to
this.
actually cut them in half. You've got to boil them.
Yeah,
You've got to take
yeah.
them out. You've got to scoop them. So it's a bit of work. But the filling is typically the polpetta filling quando fa la melanzana, non è vero? Quando fa la melanzana ripiena.
È quasi uguale.
È quasi uguale.
È uguale, solo che c'è a
melanzana.
a musica da melanzana.
Yeah, you've got the inside of the eggplant. So if you wanted to, you could.
Questa qua.
So this is a little trick.
Non.
You just squeeze the juice. Because what happens is it gives the
Wow.
meatball that little tomato fleck.
Yes.
And again, it just adds that little bit of a complex, sort of another layer of flavouring.
Ma io, I tell you the truth, I never threw them away.
No, I know.
No, I'll go. Taggio fino and bagare io.
Yeah, then she chops it up anyway. And she's not going to throw it away.
No.
It's true.
Look at this. This is like gold.
My mum's
Learning this.
My
for
mum's
me.
meatballs are the best. They're not hard.
No.
They're not soft. They're not bland.
No.
They're divine.
Divine.
They are divine, aren't they, Mum? And how many do we all have each when we come over?
E non ci perdo conto, voi sapete.
We probably all have about 8 to 10.
Each.
Of course. It's after our pasta. We love our
How do
polpette.
you maintain your slim figure? If I was doing this, I'd be 10 times the size. This is what
Se
I
parla
love.
di me, dice che quando era più giovane era solita. Io, altro che.
You were, yeah, because you know what? A lot of the Italians, when they came out here, of course, they
E
had this
mangiamo,
abundance of food. You know, you've
They
gone,
went crazy.
yeah, you've
Yeah.
gone from eating
Same. Yeah,
meat
I know what you
once a year to having it every day.
Yeah.
And they would have, like in Italy, they have 80 grams. Oh my God, here we have a plate. If you gave my dad 80 grams,
He'd go, cat.
do you remember when we went to the Christmas restaurant? That was on the
That
menu.
was bad.
And Paul Bayer ordered the 80 grams because I looked at it and said, I'm not getting that.
80
I'm getting the 110 at least.
No, but,
And she's like, I just got 2 forkfuls.
I know.
Yeah.
That's
So-
for, you know, $40.
It was nearly a $40 bloody pasta.
Anyway,
Anyway, and that's the other
but
thing.
that's so interesting. So now, hang on, she's chopping up the tomato.
Yeah,
the
finely
one
chopped.
that she squeezed.
Yeah.
Io.
That's a heart shape because you put a lot of love.
Well, questo non era un routine mio da mamma mia, da nonna. Ma io non detto questo.
So my grandmother taught her to squeeze the tomato in there.
Yeah.
But she's going to add it. However, a typical Italian would not throw that tomato
No,
in here.
no.
You would put it in and make a bit of a sauce. You chop it up,
Oh.
olive oil, garlic. You cook that up a bit. And you know what my mum does? She cracks 2 eggs in that tomato onion. Shannon loves it when she says, Nonna, you made me the
sono
eggs with
buone.
the tomato. So it's like you've caramelised your onions, your tomato, a little bit of basil, crack the eggs in there, and that's your dinner. And what's it going to cost you? Not even $5.
Vegan. No, that's not vegan.
Well, that's
is it?
vegetarian.
Vegetarian, yeah.
Allora, le noci.
Allora, adesso mettiamo...
Adesso
Di
prendi
oil.
il sale,
No, I have to come around.
Luis.
Oil.
I put a little bit of oil.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Now,
A splash.
who knows quanto ne got? Hopefully.
Now, of course, this is recycling because this used to be... what was it? Some type of peanut butter jar from 1970 because it's still glass and it's got the measurements. So when you go to an Italian home and your nonna says, get the Parmesan cheese, guaranteed it will be in a Peter's ice cream tub from 1975.
And what's wrong with this? If the ice cream was right, why the formaggio no?
So they don't have to buy trendy containers.
Ah, trendy, you put it in the capito così, the trendy formaggio thing.
Well, you don't put the formaggio in the cupboard, you put it in the fridge.
Perciò, ecco. Now,
So they were really into recycling.
that's it.
Perfect.
If,
Right.
Look at the colour.
if
Look
it's
at the
no
colour of
no
that.
perfect, Luisa, it's gonna down the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the colour.
Non ci viene sopra.
That's right. So even if it's not like perfection, it's still going to be delicious and you're going
Sì.
to scoff it.
Yes. Now,
Yes, e mettiamo il sale e l'uovo.
sì, il formaggio,
Oh,
il
look at
pane, deve portare tutto.
All right, so I'm getting the other ingredients.
Okay.
Now, usually when you buy your breadcrumbs, Mum, you get them from
Io
the bakery.
pasticcino.
So, yeah, there's a
Voglio
pasticcino down the road.
pasticcino. Tu compraste?
L'ho comprata.
Quale comprato?
Ho comprato questo. So breadcrumbs are interesting
O pasticcino fresco, Elena.
because the fresher the breadcrumb, the better. Now these are just dried, but they're good. They're finely dried.
Mo questa mousse anyway.
So there's that one. Now my mum buys it from the bakery, the Italian bakery, doesn't it? She buys it from the Italian bakery because it's fresher.
Non mi ricordo
They'll
dove.
grind
They
it.
make them there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cosa c'è? More fresh.
So, of course, this
Fresh
is
is better.
one of them. Now, what do we have in here? Because you never know.
No.
You're aware of the biscuits. Now, of course, these are the Wheat Bix. Wheat Bix are in here. What's in this one?
Dai laughing, you know. Dai
I love it.
Ma te mangiano tutto però. Ci mangiano tutti i cagli.
Here, well worn. Oh, the breadcrumbs are here. See, you just got to search. Ecco i breadcrumbs. So this is the ones from the
Questo è aperto, there.
It's
Un
open.
pasticcino,
And anyway,
Quello tu è troppo di pane bianco.
yeah. So the one that I bought from the shop is very much
Troppo
like just white, so it's more refined. This one here is a bit more of a mix.
Di
It's-
panetti.
yeah, from like the little.
Con tutta la crosta.
Yeah, it includes the
But more expensive or not?
No, they're not
Non è
expensive.
vero.
Same. No,
All
but
right.
I mean like the new ones as opposed to buying from the...
Okay.
I think breadcrumbs aren't very expensive to buy, and I usually make my own if I've got leftover stuff,
Yeah.
and I put it in the fridge.
Ce l'hai gli uovi?
Yeah, look,
Prendi gli uovi.
Here's my cheese, the other essential, and the Italian. This is just a small thing. Now, everyone buys Gran Padano, which is expensive, which is good,
Oh yeah, gran padano. Good
which is
brand.
delicious.
Yeah.
However,
Don't know.
in this one here, there's the Parmesan cheese. I just say the Australian one, the local Australian one.
Yeah,
It's got a black. It's got a black rim.
Yeah,
got
ci
black
dico
skin.
che di qua coppa nigra.
So I just buy that one there because how much is that?
Sempre quello io piglio.
I'll tell you how much that is a kilo. It's $22.50 a kilo at the IGA in Reservoir. So this was $12. The Gran Padano is always going to be more expensive. Gran Padano is nice to eat it fresh. It's nice to have it on your pasta too, don't get me wrong. But if you've got a beautiful block and you've let it go on to like room temperature, it's got a lot of oiliness in it, it's divine.
Okay.
So either one, it's fine. But if you're cooking, you don't have to go for that. Like if it's an ingredient that it's mixing with something else, it might get a bit lost, so you don't have to.
Organic eggs.
I get the organic eggs, fresh ones.
Ok. Vince Luisa, che momentino tutti questi ingredienti se lo guarda.
Okay, so now she's going to.
Questo è il sale.
Sì.
Io
Salt.
faccio così, io non misuro niente.
She doesn't measure. A sprinkling of salt. Excellent. The blessing. That's the blessing.
Beautiful.
Ok.
All right. And that's-
Leo, se sti polpetti sognano poco salati non ti fanno male, se sognano poco senza sale non ti fanno
she's
male
saying if
mai.
they're a little bit salty, it's not a big deal. If they're
No
not
big
salty,
deal, for nothing. That's it.
but probably.
That's it.
But
Su
if
do che
it's salt, does
su-
that not help the tomato? Oh. Do you, here's a question. Do you ever put sugar on the tomatoes?
No, never.
I thought that was what you did.
No, you know the tomato got danno already
Yeah, they
sugar.
got sugar now. Why would you put sugar on the tomatoes?
Why?
To make them sweet.
Maybe to, I don't know why.
People
I
say
heard
in the
that.
sauce puoi mettere cucchiaino di.
Sai quando l'ho fatto qualche volta? Quando i tomati non
You only
sono
do that if the
buoni.
tomatoes are quite bland.
Okay.
But if
Luisa,
you-
quando i
I
tomati
know your
sono...
tomatoes. Look at them.
That's why you not put the tomato in the fridge. Questo qua,
Yeah,
questo
yeah.
tomato ti può mangiare un piatto di pasta, mentre la pasta è un poco
So with
d'olio.
this tomato, you chop it up, you cook it
You
in a
don't
bit of
need to
olive
know.
oil, and there's your
No
tomato,
need to
tomato sauce.
sugar.
A bit, hint of chili if you want. That's the
Yeah.
thing about
Oh,
plain
beautiful.
tomato. You can add
Non ci si vuole mangiare pasta con i anciughi.
pasta with
tomato.
anchovy.
And chuggy artichokes.
No, con
Anciughi. come
Oh my God.
ai
Come si
sardi.
dice?
Anchovies.
Oh, no, non mi piace.
No, ma lei non,
non ti
lei non,
piace
lei non mangia pesce.
Ugh,
Lei non,
seafood.
lei non mangia
Right.
pesce, but that's delicious too.
Now.
And you probably wouldn't, oh, you might know it. Because anchovies, when you put them in the tomato,
Yeah, no.
they dissolve.
Yeah,
And
but
you
I
don't-
don't-
but you'll be able to taste the
I
fish
can
flavour.
taste this.
Alright, andiamo avanti, mettiamo quanto? Un uovo o due?
Questo qua non è abbastanza per mangiare pesce.
Non è grande abbastanza. It's alright, we'll do it. Come on. She's upset because the bowl's not big enough.
Non è big enough per me impasta, Elena.
Would you like it a bigger one?
Sì. E non
Stop the
posso
clock.
manco camminare.
It's all right.
Può pure sciacquare e passare.
So, tu mettiti di qua così ti possiamo vedere un po' più migliore. Alright, so.
Ok.
Hai bisogno del coltello o no?
No. Lo sai, Elena? Se ti capita qualche uovo brutto, mi mettiamo tutti, è meglio che pigliano
Yes.
piatto.
So when you crack an egg, another thing that my mum's fussy about,
Se no mi mettiamo tutte cose.
when you crack an egg, she always cracks them first because it's like
There's a bad one.
Yeah.
Same with Baya's mum. Baya's mum said the same. Yeah.
Ah.
You got to check the egg
Yeah.
Check the egg.
before you put it in.
If you put them,
Yeah.
you got.
Disaster.
I throw everything away because I can't eat it first.
Wow.
Ok, facciamo così.
Okay, continue. 2 eggs.
2.
Oh, 3.
Questi uovi sono piccoli.
Yeah, they are small.
They are very small.
Six eggs, Nonna.
I think we gotta put them all.
Wow.
It's a small egg.
Yeah. Because they're organic.
A me always organic.
They're organic.
No organic. Free
range.
Free range. Okay,
Yeah, that's 6. That will be 6 eggs.
another 2. We try.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but they're nice, they're good eggs. Yeah, good yellow yolk. Yeah.
Now.
One handful. How many is it?
2 handfuls.
2 handfuls.
1 handful for half a kilo.
Oh.
No, I don't.
Yeah, not exact.
Because to tell you,
Yeah.
but for me,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah. Oh, the cheese. So like 3
3.
handfuls. Nonna, can you just move the bag? Move the bag. Thank you. You've just put the cheese and the breadcrumbs
Now,
in.
are you surprised at the amount of ingredients?
I am.
Yep. Why?
More ingredients than I thought.
Yes. So again, Meatballs are like a
We had
family.
like 6 eggs.
Meatballs are a family tradition. Not every family makes them the same. So there are some people that would put less cheese. Some people soak their breadcrumbs.
Teresa che ci mette l'acqua pure.
Yeah.
No, you can imagine come sono buoni. Sono brutti.
My mum's philosophy is you use the best and you don't skimp on ingredients because then it's a waste of your time and effort.
It's like the video of my mum making shortbread.
Yes.
She said all new flour, all new everything when you're going to cook. Not something you've had in the cupboard for a long time.
Yeah, they're all fresh. That's right. So, so not everyone makes their meatballs like this.
No.
No. Some of them just don't bother with the garlic, the parsley, the cheese. And of course, then they've got a different flavour. They're not as tasty, I would say. But you know, everyone's got a budget. And so people, I think if you're gonna, you must put the parsley if you're not allergic to garlic.
Some things you can't,
Okay, so this is just black pepper.
No.
What is
black
it?
Pepper.
Oh, nutmeg. È finito l'altro?
Sì, finito.
Okay. So, she's added the nutmeg in there. Vuoi che te lo metto qui dentro?
Sì.
Okay. So nutmeg again is key. You must have nutmeg, you must have parsley. If you're not allergic to garlic, you need to have the garlic. Salt, you've got to have the egg to bind it, and you need the breadcrumbs. Like I said, some people soak them, and that gives you a different, it gives you like a, not as firm, they're kind of fluffier. I prefer these. So this is my mum's. These are the polpette di Caterina. So a bit of work. So all the grandkids, when you go over and see your grandmothers and you know how hard she's worked to make them.
Yeah.
All your life?
All my life. That's what I done.
Cooking, cleaning.
to make us happy, Nonna.
That's why when we gather around the table, everyone's excited. Everyone loves your food, Mum. And then she makes it, and then at the end of the night, she'll just give it away.
Sì, non tanto ci avevo portato a casa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously she makes enough.
Ma faccia
I
apposta.
haven't cooked much. You go, the whole bench is covered. There's 2 roasts, polpette, lasagna, fruit, cold meats.
Oh, we have to do a video of the lasagna.
Ma Vince, che io non so perché faccio questo.
Why do you do that? Why?
Why I do that? Non nato che ci mangiano qua. Proprio non lo so.
She doesn't know why, then she ends up giving it away.
I don't know why.
Because I think when you cook it, you're so tired and you just don't want to see
You want to
it.
share it, but she
No,
wants
you don't want to see it. It's like, I'm over it. Take it. And you know what? It is a different experience. Cooking it and eating it is different to sitting down at a table when someone's cooked it.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah, when you're sitting down.
When I'm just sitting and eating it.
Yeah.
I just,
But when you've cooked it, you're kind of tired. Anyway, you've done a great job. What are we doing?
Questo te lo dico a te.
Adesso?
Questa per te è mosa.
Yes.
Sì, facevi tu.
It's soft, but I know. See, this is quite soft, but my mum will tell you in a moment, because she thinks I don't listen, but I do. Because you put the breadcrumbs in there, the breadcrumbs absorb the
Ancora
moisture.
bread.
And the impasto, the actual, what's an impasto in English?
paste.
Well, yeah, the impasto.
The glue.
The actual mince mixture.
Yeah.
It will, the breadcrumbs absorb the moisture, so it becomes less soft, more firm, and ready to roll. So she's saying if you're making this and you go, oh, this is so soft, and you add more breadcrumbs, that's a mistake. It's a mistake. So you've got to let this rest.
Let them absorb.
My mother, nonna, mi diceva una
Che
volta.
cosa ti ha detto in inglese?
In inglese.
What did my nonna
My mother
say?
said, Katie, don't you think this is too soft? I say, no. Hey, no, looks like a little bit. She said, look, mommy, this looks soft. But we know in Italy we put the fresh bread. I said, Mom, che sto pane?
But this bread in Australia is dried.
Ci dicevano, this bread
English.
Ci assorbe. What now?
Who taught you this? My grandmother would say.
I said, Mom, you know I'm not see nobody. No, in Cayenne for the mouth.
She wasn't one of these social.
Yeah,
she used to. Well, yeah, you used to keep yourself at home, and so she just is very creative.
Sì, io ho creato sola.
Yeah, she's creative. She crochets, she knits. Yeah, you are very good. And you can see, look how beautifully dressed she is.
I know.
You just got your hair done. Got a gold. She's still doing. Look at her. Can I just have a? She's doing the. She's mixing with her rings on. No, why don't you take them off?
Nice.
Because I gotta go in the wash to wash my hands before the soap to open vengono fuori per non lose questo time.
Too much time.
Too much time.
So girls, do it, and guys, do it with your rings on.
Yeah, I think it matters.
Look fabulous.
You do, you look fabulous.
Allora, abbiamo finito, and this is going to just rest for a little bit.
Non abbiamo resto, ma se mettiamo a pignata e mangiamo un po' di pasta, ci può restare.
So, how long has this been cooking for? What should we do, Mum? You don't want to make them? Or do you want to eat? So it's lunchtime, big discussion. Cosa facciamo adesso?
Mangiamo.
You want to eat?
Perché non è che mangiamo, la pasta vuole 20 minuti ci cucina.
We are going to have a break.
Pigliamo di can.
So in this big pan, now as you can see, if this was the meat sauce, you can use it, but because the meat isn't cooked, we still need it to keep bubbling away. So what we've done is there's just a little bit of sauce in there. When I say a little bit, like about that much, because the meatballs are going to be cooking in that. Because we don't use the sauce, we don't need to have a lot of sauce in there. Because we're not using this sauce to go over pasta. We're just using this sauce to cook the meatballs. So that's it.
Wow.
So we're going to pop the meatballs in there.
Okay.
And then we'll put the lid on them and they'll cook through. And in the meantime, the meat sauce is still bubbling away. And when you get the sauce, if you plunge the ladle into the sauce, you get the sauce. If you take it from the top, you'll end up getting more of the oil. Okay? So that's it.
That's better, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, perfect.
So it smells amazing.
The smell is amazing.
And you can already see, look, it's nice and thick.
Oh, I know.
And it's already looking sticky, and
gorgeous.
you can see the oil in it, which is delicious. All right,
Dimmi.
so now they can roll.
Tu certo non ti puoi pigiare quanto ti piglio io non ti posso pigiare. Come è grande, come è piccola, è da smera.
Ma'am, just
Ora,
1 second.
io faccio così. E fai così. Da smera che facciamo un poco più grande, ce ne pigliano un poco di meno, right Elena?
That's fine.
Ti faccio
Ok.
fa vedere alla camera. Aspetta, scusa. We're just making the little
Oh, very good, Shannon.
balls. Piccole palle, polpette. She said doesn't matter what size. They all come out a little bit differently.
Try to keep
Try
the
and do
size
roughly the stuff because
consistency.
then when you're cooking them,
Ma che ci cucinano lo stesso.
Yeah,
they all cook the
Non
same
guardare
anyway.
chissà cosa.
Don't worry about this.
Nah.
Yeah, but you can't do like big and little. They've got to be pretty much all the same size.
What'd you say that time Nonna said when they're too big they look?
Come guarda.
Ti ho detto che quando sono grande sembrano più cheap.
Non più.
So they look cheap when they're too big.
No, sono
like
più
them
delicate.
They're more delicate when
And
they're
you
small.
know, they're nice and
Jen,
all.
if you just move the bowl over a little bit, so
Where?
we can see the plate. Yeah, that's it. That's better. Beautiful. This is good for the granddaughter to learn too.
That's it.
Oh yeah, they're bigger than what I thought.
I think mine are a bit
they're
bigger.
Yeah.
Mine too
Yeah.
big. Troppo grande? Ok, aspetta.
Oh, they. Oh.
Metto insieme.
So they're gonna cook in that sauce.
Yeah, I'm going to add a little bit of water to it
Yeah.
so it covers it a bit more.
Wow.
But I was going to say,
Anche questo?
you can make your meatball sizes as big or little as you want. Because you can do tiny ones, put a toothpick in them.
For the
Huh?
brodo,
Yeah.
quelli.
And
Brodo.
when you make a brodo,
Ah.
a broth, and you can just add them to your broth. And you make tiny ones because when you're scooping them up with the spoon,
That's what I have in my head.
so it's the same, and you make tiny ones. They're the tiny ones, right? Then you can make them maybe half the size of those, so they're bite size, and you can put them on a toothpick, and you can just fry them and just brown them and cook them, obviously, or bake them and put them on a toothpick, or you can put them in a sauce. So meatballs are really versatile. You can have it like as aperitivo. You can put it in the brodo, in the broth, tiny, which is divine. You can make a polpoltone.
So you don't fry them in a frying pan?
No, we don't fry ours. Who fries them?
Not fry. I don't.
Yeah, like brown them.
You
No,
don't?
no.
Oh, because that's what I thought you did. And then you put them in the sauce.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can brown your
look at these.
We don't brown them.
Why?
Okay, so they're going to
Because
be
we're not
juicy
browning them.
because we're not brown. So you don't get that crusty outside, right? Whereas these, they're sealed because of the heat. When something comes to a boil, the sauce, that's when you put your meat in when you want to seal the juices, right?
Beautiful.
That's why we had to brown the meat here because we had to seal that.
Oh,
So these are smaller and they get sealed quickly.
I did a few too big ones.
So you pop them in
E
there.
non girare mai subito because you can.
Yeah. So
really?
you can't, like start interfering.
Yeah, because that would be me. I'd be interfering.
Because what happens is you'll break them.
No, I know. That's what's happened to me. And I thought, why are they broken?
Well, now you know.
I thought I was being careful.
Now you've got to
Oh,
wait for them to brown and then flip them over. Oh no, we're going to put the
Not
water.
too brown.
Not too-
Quando sopra.
You'll see, they're going to change colour.
oh.
They almost become steamed. That's what it looks like. They become steamed. So we've added some water to this so that they're all cooked. So they're being
Oh,
steamed. Can you see how they've
beautiful.
gone from pink
Oh, yes.
to like looking like they're steamed? So once they get to that
Yes.
consistency, if you had to stir them, you would, but there's no need to. Now we've got these left over. No possiamo mettere.
Qua dentro.
Yeah.
You're going to put them in. Yeah. Oh,
Ma
look
questi
at
sono già un po' cotti,
them.
ma non importa.
No, ma non fa niente.
Vabbè.
Doesn't matter.
No,
Non fa niente.
non fa niente.
Doesn't matter. I love that
But you know
expression.
why my mum's done that? She's adding them on the top because she didn't want the ones at the bottom to get squished. So now that
Harder.
E non ami tocchi condimenti subito. You know,
yeah, you can't touch them once they're in the sauce. Because
Yes.
then you'll... Yeah.
Gee, that sauce is really expanded.
No, she's added water to
I
it.
know, but
Yeah.
amazing.
So you're measuring out how much pasta, Alice?
So because there's 4 of us, that's probably 400 grams.
And Nonna, how much salt in the water for the pasta?
io non so.
Yeah, see?
Non lo so.
You probably put about, it depends on how much water you've got and how much you're
That's a
cooking.
big saucepan.
Yeah.
For me, that's
Mince
big.
che io la mangio pure senza sale, perciò quanto andava.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 teaspoon or a bit more?
No, a bit more than a
bit
teaspoon
more.
in there. You probably
Because
need
ancora
a tablespoon.
Ci metto acqua.
Yeah. You know how you can tell when you put your salt in? Taste it. Let it just cook for a minute and taste it.
I don't think I know how to do that.
You taste the water, and if it's too salty.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I don't trust myself like
But
that.
always err on less salt.
The whole packet.
Yes, why not? There's 4 of us. That's 100
Possono
grams each.
Oh, and the packet's 500 grams.
Yeah.
Ma mangio domani.
And then there'll be some left over
Or later.
for later. So she'll have it tomorrow.
Dici che io, people, I saw
I think-
people che cucinano con poco acqua.
Now,
Io,
my mum's big gripe, she always tells me off. She always says, there's no water in Australia. My mum likes the pot to be very full of water. So then the pasta the water doesn't dry up. Not that I ever let it dry up, but
Wow.
now, and the pasta water, I think we all know now, is gold. Pasta water, all the gluten goes into the water and it becomes like this sort of thicker consistency. So, if you, for example, you've made your tomato sauce and you don't have a lot of sauce, you get like a ladle of the pasta sauce and you add it. You put the pasta in there and you add it. And the Italians don't use cream, so if they're making a carbonara, they'll put the cheese in, or they've put their egg in, they'll put the cheese in and add, not cream, but pasta water. And that creates that thickness. Even if you're like making like a marinara.
no, I'm serious.
Yeah, come on.
I'm-
Dimmi.
io sono seria. Persone, non
People?
fa- people, that's do what I do. Because non like lose time in the kitchen. I gotta be much precisely che posso.
I understand.
Se no mi arrabbio.
Yeah, well, she gets upset because her theory is
Yes.
you've got to do it properly.
Yeah.
Una thing.
Or else it's just a waste
Waste
of
of
your
time.
ingredients, a waste of your time, a waste of your effort.
And why I have to wash my pasta if I'm not serious to cook? Put it in the bin before you cook them.
Yeah, don't come to my house. That's why I come here. My house would never smell like this. So amazing.
No, no. Oh, look, man.
So, yes, look, Italians have got a great cuisine. But, and while it's sort of simple, like this, you know,
Yes.
it's simple.
Yes, cucina povera.
È cucina povera, it's simple. The ingredients aren't like, you know,
They're not expensive, non caro.
no, non sono care, they're not like something exotic.
No.
Ma io non penso che spendo
No, I
soldi.
know, you
Io
don't.
penso lavoro. Io I get very tired.
Yes, it's labour intensive though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
And it's time consuming.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a love because then you sit down and there's that beautiful meal. And when you share it, because Italian cuisine, like many cuisines, it's about sharing, you know? It's about generosity. It's about everyone sitting around and enjoying it. And that's where the pleasure is.
I know.
And that's where you create your memories.
Yeah. I don't think this is part of my
World.
world from my childhood.
The experience of food.
It wasn't seen as the importance.
Yes. Yes. The different cultures have different
It's
stuff.
so interesting.
Yeah. You have
I
different...
really like
You're not interested because you got your mother with you.
In Ireland, though, food is not like
I know.
it's different. There.
Yeah, yeah. It's still a social affair. People are
But-
family,
Yeah.
but they don't have this obsession that
no,
some European countries have with
no.
food.
My dad would say to my mum, "As long as there's potatoes, I'm happy."
You love your potatoes.
No, Papa. No, you, Papa, telling me these things.
My dad, Irish, always
Who doesn't
potatoes.
love a potato?
Every night potatoes.
Tu hai la forchetta.
Okay.
Prendi questa la tua forchetta.
Dimmi.
Now, so, can I just say, this is a taste test. Do you see the sauce is nice and sticky and thick? They're nearly done, right? Now, this is my favourite cut of meat.
Look at that.
Yep. Can you see, this meat sort of like is the muscolo, the muscle part of the leg. You see, it's a little bit. What's the word? Glutinous or
Glutinous, yeah.
Not glutinous.
No, gelatinous.
Gelatinous.
That's the word.
That's the. And this is my favourite because I love that. This makes me lick my fingers because it's a bit sticky. And cheap cut of meat, but look how it just falls off. So for me, my favourite meat sauce is this one here. My mum loves the lamb. Some people love a pork sauce. I'm not a fan of the pork sauce because, I don't know, I just not a...
What do you think, Shannon?
Buonissimo.
Buonissimo.
So yum.
Incredibile. The taste is amazing. Sweet.
So,
See what I say? Or what I was saying? It smells sweet.
but that needs to cook more. Salute.
Yeah, tell me.
Hang on.
We're just having a little bit of pasta.
Yep.
A little bit of meat. Oh, look
This
at
is
that.
my Sunday lunch.
Oh, look at
Instead
that.
of wine, instead of water, I wouldn't mind wine.
Yeah,
Maybe
we need good wine.
We need Jesus here to turn that water into wine. Where is he when you need him? So this is just a simple little
Look
meal.
at that. Look at that.
And it's delicious.